You want to make an investment in a friend's business, you think it's a great idea. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to make investments without losing a penny using standby letters of credit. You've got to watch this video.
All of the information presented is for entertainment and information purposes only. Nothing discussed constitutes legal or accounting advice, an offer or solicitation of financial services, or financial advice of any kind. Our goal is to showcase alternative vehicles to raise capital. At no point will we be soliciting any investment programs.
Hi, it's Taimour Zaman from All Funds Global. Our organization helps businesses leverage their assets, their cash, their letters of credit, and so on, to access capital that the banks are primarily offering their Fortune 10 clients. We can do this because of our relationships with the banks, because of volume of transactions we give them, and because of our experience and our expertise in this area. The capital our clients are getting allows them to do project financing, to grow their business, and to buy auxiliary businesses. Nothing that I offer in this video should be considered as legal or financial advice. The purpose of this and all of our other videos is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. So a few months ago, we got retained by a client who wanted to make an investment in the Philippines. And I said, Taimour, we want to make an investment in this company in the Philippines. We've met the business owner. We love his business. You can see how much profit he's making. And if we can only inject some amount of capital, that's at $10 million in his business, boy, his business can grow exponentially. Our fear is, although he's giving us all this collateral in the Philippines, if this guy defaults or disappears, what are we going to do? We may lose all of our money. And it's in a country called Philippines. We don't feel comfortable. Is there a way you can structure something for us that can support us? That case study reminded me of myself. Years ago, when I used to do real estate investing internationally, I would take my hard-earned money and I would give it to people that I trusted, people that I knew were doing something interesting in real estate around different jurisdictions around the world. And so I have a lot of familiarity and experience in what's referred to as international investing. In my experience, in my previous life, I would give people something called cash. I would send them money, and that was my investment in whatever the transaction was. Well, in the last 10 years, I discovered this thing called standby letters of credit. Standby letters of credit is a banking instrument that's recognized by all the banks around the world, especially international banks. And what I love about standby letters of credit is a vehicle for me to make investments around the world without one penny leaving my bank account and investing in foreign jurisdictions in foreign companies like that. I will repeat myself so there's no miscommunication. It's the ability to invest capital in somebody else's business without leaving one penny leaving my account. That's what I've discovered for myself. That's what I want to teach you and share with you. If you research standby letters of credit, in a nutshell, it's a guarantee by a bank to make a payment upon if a client defaults. I'm going to start with a simple story and then relate it to making investments internationally or making investments with your best buddy without a penny leaving your bank account. I'm going to start with standby letters of credit and how they work internationally. Imagine you get a contract from McDonald's restaurant around the world to supply coffee to all the McDonald's restaurants around the world, and that contract is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. More likely, you need to go to maybe a coffee grower in Colombia and buy the best beans you can, and then you need to go to China and get coffee cups, somewhere where you can pour the coffee, and then you need to go to hundreds of milk producers around the world that can produce milk so people can have their coffee with milk or however that works like that. And so you have all these providers around the world, and they're depending on you to make a payment. When they send whatever the product is that you wanted them to send, they need to make sure you make a payment. But that person's jurisdiction is in China or Colombia or hundreds of different places around the world. How can they trust you to make a payment when you say you're going to make a payment? The vehicle that's used for international transactions like this is a vehicle called standby letters of credit. In a nutshell, it's a guarantee by your bank that your bank will make a payment in case you don't. That's what a standby letter of credit is. Typically how it works, and this is the most simple way I could describe it, is like a certified check. You go to your bank. You say, hey, Mr. Bank, I got a contract from McDonald's restaurants to issue them coffee. Here's my contract. I'm looking to provide a standard of credit, guaranteed payment to a guy in Colombia, the guy in China, and all these other milk producers. What your bank does is that they block money, let's say hundreds of millions of dollars, $10 million, $100 million, whatever, in your account. And each block is in the favor of the producer, the Colombian guy, the Chinese guy, the milk guy, like that. And that provider gets gets the standard of credit from your bank, where they can see that money is blocked in their favor. That gives them the assurance, the guarantee that they need for them to go to work, so that in case you default and in case you don't make a payment, they can display the standard of credit to your bank. And remember, your bank has blocked the money in their favor. So that's when your bank will cash them out. So in case you don't pay them, by the time you said you're going to pay them, they can go to your bank, provide the standard of credit to your bank, and take their money out. That's how international transactions happens using standard of credit. What I love about standard of credit, what I appreciate about standard of credit, is that I can block money in favor of another bank or in favor of another company. So when it comes to investing with your best buddy, your neighbor, or some guy in the Philippines as example, one way you could do this where your capital is 100% secure is for you to go and talk to your bank. Here at Alphonse Global, we're not a bank. We don't claim to be a bank. We work with banks, but this option for you to go and walk and talk to your own bank. It's not about, hey, Alphonse Global, can you call my bank? We don't do that. You call your bank. You go to a division that issues letters of credit. Oftentimes, it's called the commercial division of the bank that you work with. Sometimes, depending on which jurisdiction, it could be private banking, but it's usually the commercial division of your bank. It's not your retail division. You go to a commercial division, and you ask that commercial division, you tell them, hey, look, I want to issue a letter of credit in favor of somebody else. Do you offer that within this division? And specifically, what you want to ask them for is something called a trade finance account. A trade finance account is an account that enables the blocking of funds in your account and for the issuance of standard of credit. You do not issue a standard of credit using a saving checking account. Allow me to repeat myself. You do not issue, or your bank does not issue a standard of credit using a saving checking account. Typically, you have to go and open up a trade finance account, and you put money in your trade finance account. The bank, your bank, blocks the money and issues of credit in favor of whoever you tell them to issue that credit for. Now, remember, the trick, the technique, the hack, however you want to think about it, is for you not to leave a penny out of your account. So when you go to your bank, you say, I want to lease a standard of credit to the beneficiary of the company you want to make investment in. That company could be your next door neighbor, could be Joe, your uncle, it could be the Philippine company across the world. I don't care. You want to lease a standard of credit to the beneficiary of the other guy. What you're giving them is a letter of credit. So this is $10 million of credit. So the guy in the Philippines, you're not giving him cash. You're not giving him one penny. What you're giving him is a standby letter of credit. The beneficiary is his company at his bank that he gets to leverage. I've done dozens of videos on how the other bank makes money, how they leverage this letter of credit to get credit facility for themselves, and how it turns into cash with the receiving company and the receiving bank. In a nutshell, the receiving company should have some kind of a custodian banking services, where when they get a letter of credit, when a bank receives that asset, the credit facility of the bank increases. So when the bank in the Philippines receives a standard of credit from a bank in Canada, United States, wherever it is, imagine a Citibank New York, as an example, is the one issuing a $10 million standard of credit to the no-name Bank of Philippines. For the no-name Bank of Philippines that has a credit rating of 0, I'm using this only as analogy purposes. Please don't get offended if you are the no-name Bank of Philippines. I'm just using this example. The no-name Bank of Philippines gets a $10 million standard of credit from Citibank. That's worth a lot to them. they can go to a World Bank and they can get $100 million line of credit on that. That gets worth a lot of money when the no-name bank gets a lot of credit from a well-known bank, from a well-credit bank. You're impacting the asset base, the cash adequacy ratio, amount of assets under management for the receiving bank. Because the receiving bank is receiving an asset, they will enable cash, a certain portion of cash, a recourse loan or a limited recourse loan, the bad word first called non-recourse loan, to their clients. So, now go back to making investment. I'm going to make an investment with John Smith, my next door neighbor. I'm going to make an investment with a family member. By the way, I don't ever recommend making investments with your family members, but that's to Taimour's own opinion. Or you want to make an investment in a Philippines company, the safe way to do this without a penny leaving your account is to talk to your bank and say, can you guys issue a lot of credit if I have a trade finance account? The bank says, yes, awesome. Then what you want to do is say, okay, I'm going to now lease the same amount of credit to the receiving bank. What that means is that the receiving bank, the guy in the Philippines or Joe, your uncle, your next door neighbor, whoever it is, gets the letter of credit. Their credit facility goes up. Their credit rating goes up. Their availability to get credit goes up. And the receiving guy now has to figure out how does he take that credit that he now gets and turns it into cash. Here's a brilliant part of lease time letters of credit. The bank, not the individual, keyword, the bank who's receiving the letter of credit has to return the same amount of credit 15 days prior to it being expired. So typically when a bank issues a letter of credit, generally speaking, they're issuing it for 1 year and 1 day. You could structure it with your bank so that the receiving bank is on the contract for them to return the instrument, the letter of credit, 10 days, 15 days before it expires. So when the receiving bank receives the letter of credit, not the guy who you're investing in, because the guy you're investing in, for all I care, could be a crook. Could be a crook. When you give that same amount of credit to the receiving side, the receiving bank, when they receive it, the bank on the receiving side has to now, by design, return the letter of credit to the sender 15 days prior to the letter of credit being expired. Now you've invested money without even giving cash to that guy. So imagine you have $20 million in your bank account, and you want to take 10 million, 5 million, some amount, and invest in the guy in the Philippines. Technically, spiritually, ethically, you're not giving him one penny. You are not even giving him a penny. You call your bank, you're blocking money in his favor. That money is blocked in your account, which means you don't have access to it. Which means you do not have access to it. It's blocked money. That's opportunity cost for you. For 1 year, 1 day, now 5 million, 20 million, what amount you want to invest in that guy is being blocked in your account. That's the risk that you're taking. But remember, now a penny is leaving your account. After 1 year, 1 day, that money is freed up back in your account, but technically, spiritually, ethically, morally, not one penny ever left your account, which is something I really love, the ability to block money in favor of the other guy. Let the other guy, the guy you want to make an investment in, figure out from his end, how does he take a lease instrument, turns it into cash, and then as a favor or as part of the contract, gives you a return on that investment. So if you want to make an investment with Joe, your uncle, Sam, your family member, or the guy in the Philippines, my recommendation is to contact your bank. Not Alphonse Global. We're not calling your bank. Contact your bank. Say, hey, can you guys issue letters of credit if I have a trade finance account? The answer is yes. Great. Awesome. Then you want to issue something called leased stamp letter of credit. Lease means you're renting out the letter of credit. Money you're blocking in favor of somebody else is being leased out. They're renting it from you. And the bank on the receiving side has to return that instrument back to you before the expiry date of that instrument. You let the receiver on the other end to leverage that instrument to get credit facility for themselves. If you can do that, next thing you need to do is to contact the company you want to make an investment in. Joe, your uncle, Sam, your neighbor, the guy in the Philippines, and say, hey, I want to make an investment in your company, but as I'm not going to give you cash. I'm going to give you a standby letter of credit from my bank. It's not released. If I do that, what are you going to give me? What's the contract? Let's get into a contract or something. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions around this area, you want help in this area, feel free to book a consultation call here at Alphonse Global. Happy to explain this further and help you step by step. Thank you so much.
Would you like to know about our next event?
Why would you attend Alt Funds Global's banking events?
Alt Funds Global really showed us real-life examples which are not only innovative and very disruptive, but use cases in the real world. Actually, deals are being made here, which is absolutely amazing, and it just really shows that the guys are absolutely professional.
You'd have a unique opportunity to meet real banking executives and professional law firms that are doing various forms of structured finance. You'll also get access to ideas and programs banks only offer their elite customers.
I thought the event was extraordinary. I came from a long ways away, and I was absolutely shocked at the quality of what I learned here and the excellent speakers and the people that were here. I was shocked and amazed.
4 different banks, and everybody had, something to offer, and everybody offered something different. So it was just done very well. I'd recommend anybody come to one of Taimour's events. I would gladly come to the next event.
Check out our events page at www.altfundsglobal.com/membership-events.
Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Taimour, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. But if you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of Alphonse Global. You simply go to our website, alphonsglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing, Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Taimour, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within Alphonse Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income, but if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with a central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiple. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, if you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever your bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000. Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within Allfunds Global are so passionate in helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Taimour, you charge a consultation fee. Allfunds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow slows me down from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content complete for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with a client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question, I guess, Taimour, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. We never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate, they're hardworking people. I know them, they deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even losses against them. The reason within Allfunds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Taimour Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Taimour, that all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them as just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow. We have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, it's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us fraudster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator, we use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So do your own due diligence, listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision-driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world, and I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimour, we love all the services of Funds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? But my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks at it. We don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in to that, you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not going to get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is, if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization, as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimour Zaman from Funds Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.